Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar, Powering Rural Connectivity, How to Add Mobile Services to Your Fiber Offering, sponsored by JSC Ingenium. Our presenters today are Freddie Lara, MNO Sales Director at JSC Ingenium, and Alejandro Suaza, Pre-Sales Engineer with JSC Ingenium. I'm Michelle Coleman with NTCA, and we believe that information about products and services should be made available to members so they can make informed decisions for themselves and their companies. As such, NTCA does not endorse, recommend, or make any representations with respect to the products or services being offered, sold, or described. If you have questions, please use the Q&A box to submit them. Questions will be addressed immediately following the presentation. And at this point, I will turn it over to Freddie.
Thank you, Michelle, and thank you everybody for takes your time to join us. I'm going to present my screen with some of the slides that we are going to use for this webinar. Initially, we want to extend our gratitude to NTCA for giving us the opportunity to participate in this webinar. Some of you maybe don't know, but we became members of NTCA recently because we think that we can contribute to the expansion of the broadband and connectivity in rural America. Not only through our solutions that we are going to share with you, but also by sharing our experiences from Europe and Latin America, where we have already deployed our solutions. While we understand that North America is a unique market, we are confident that with the information and the experiences that we want to share with you, we can help you and support to those that wants to enter in this journey to become a mobile operator. We truly believe that a natural evolution for companies that began as fixed internet providers is to incorporate the mobile services into their portfolios. So today, we will be talking about the benefits of becoming a mobile operator. We will present the different ways to achieve this, and we will share some real-world examples of companies that have already implemented this kind of solutions. So without further introductions, let's dive into our main topic, Fiber plus mobile, driving revenue and retention in rural America. But first, let us make a brief introduction of ourselves and our company. Many of you may not be familiar with JSC Ingenium, so let me give you a brief introduction about us. We are a Spanish company with 28 years of experience in telecommunication market, specializing in developing and providing solutions for mobile network operators, MVNOs, mainly in core network or in BSS, business support system. In recent years, we have also expanded our scope to support full mobile network operators, but MVNOs remain being our core focus. Our journey began in Spain. Later, we expand to Europe and Africa. And since 2015, we have been active in Latin America, The closest reference to the United States are in Mexico, Puerto Rico, Costa Rica, and Colombia. We are, Alejandro and I, we are based here in Colombia. And we are also in the final stages of deploying our first client in the continental United States. Currently, we have more than 750 brands running in our solution. So this is an idea of how reliable is our solution. My name is Freddy Lara, and I am the sales director for the Americas of JSC Ingenium. And joining me today is Alejandro Suaza, our pre-sales engineer and the technical expert in our solutions. Together, we'd like to explore how to integrate the mobile services and how can this drive sustainable growth and strengthen member relationship. So, without further introduction, let's move to the initial question that we want to discuss with you. The question is, why become a mobile virtual operator? In the telecom industry, we often see recurring market cycles. And this pattern has been not only in the USA, but also in other parts of the world. We have seen in Europe, we have seen in Latin America. And it starts with an introduction phase where the adoption is slow. Then comes a growth phase where both the number of users and the revenue increase significantly. However, this usually followed by a maturity phase where competition intensifies and revenues begins to plateau or even decline slightly. Eventually, the service enters in a decline phase, often driven by market saturation and disrupted alternatives. This cycle has repeated in different services and in different regions. For example, if we look at the graph that we have here for TV and internet services, we can see that this is the way that usually the new services are behaving. Based on the market data that we have reviewed, particularly in the United States television sector, it's evident that this market entered in a decline phase a few years ago. And not only in United States, I mean, this is a worldwide situation. And this has been accelerated by the rise of the major streaming platform, YouTube, Disney Plus, Prime Video. So this platform had changed the customer behavior, leading many to move away from the traditional cable subscriptions. So many of the traditional TV providers have changed the way to make the business and have moved to make some kind of agreement with the multi-channel video programming distributors and subscription video on demand with those Disney Plus, YouTube, in order to try to continue with the subscribers. At the end, this is not just a theory, it's a reality that we have seen across multiple markets and multiple technologies. So, if microcycles are inevitable, the key question becomes, How do operators respond when their core services begin to decline? What usually happens is that operators start with some service. Let's take the TV market as an example in the graphic that we are seeing in the screen. When the initial service begins to decline, many operators respond by introducing a new service. Most of the cases is internet. So they became ESPs and start to offering dual play or even triple play bundles in the cases where also there is a voice services. So with this introduction of a new service, they can combine the cores and they can generate the restarting of the core in order to maintain the customers, maintain the subscribers, and maintain the incomes. So, but for fixed operator, what is the next? The natural steps for the fixed operators is to start to introduce the mobile service. So, and this is a pattern that we have seen not only in Latin America, but we have also seen in Europe. And with this, adding an additional service, we can regenerate again the core and try to maintain the customers and also the incomes. So what is our message? Our message is the time is now. We believe that this is the right moment to enter in the virtual mobile operator market, particularly in the United States. This is some information from market insights about the MVNO market in the United States. And they show a consistent growth in the recent years. They are projecting to reach 167 billion by 2034, with a compound annual growth rate of approximately 7.5%. And basically, this increase is driven due to many reasons. Some of them are the increasing availability of new technologies, especially 5G. The early and widespread adoption of the data science, artificial intelligence, and machine learning. The next one is really important, is the rise of the IoT and machine-to-machine communication, which open a new business model and service opportunities. We are expecting to have a lot of devices connected in the network. And a growing demand for flexible and cost-effective connectivity solution in the underserved areas. At this moment, the users are really aware of the amount of money that they are paying monthly, and they are searching for different alternatives. So that generates an opportunity. So at the end, all of this creates a favorable environment for virtual mobile operators to try and innovate. So let's take a closer look at the current landscape and why the conditions are ideal for rural providers in this market. Here we can check some numbers that speak for themselves, particularly in the rural areas. These facts we found from different sources about the current situation in the United States. The first one is that 91% of the adults in the USA now own a smartphone. So this shows how deeply the mobile connectivity is embedded in the daily life. Another important number that we have seen is that 20% of the adults in the rural communities are smartphone dependent, meaning that they rely on their phones for internet access. The rural broadband users expect seamless connectivity, not just at home, but at work and any place that they go. Another important point is that the national providers, I mean the big players, are starting to bundling mobile and broadband, raising the bar and increasing the competitive pressure for the local providers. And the FCCC report that around 15 million of Americans still lack access to reliable mobile coverage. So this gap represents both a challenge, but also a major opportunity for the local providers to step in the mobile market. In short, the demand is clear, the expectation of the customers are rising, and the opportunity is real. So now that we have seen the broader market opportunities, let's talk about what rural customers really want. And what they really want is really related with the bundling. According to the Park Association, as you can see in this slide, 2 in 3 rural broadband users prefer bundled services. That is a clear signal. Customers don't just want more services. They want them to be integrated. They want to have all together. And the impact of that in the loyalty is really significant. Another important fact is that the churn rates are 2 to 3 times lower among customers who subscribe to bundle offerings. Why? Because bundling creates loyalty. It simplifies the customer life, and because they have only one bill, one account to manage all their services, one point of contact to support. So that makes everything easier and simpler for them. And this simplicity helps to construct trust. For local and regional providers, bundling mobile with broadband isn't just a way to increase the ARPU. It's a way to deepen the relationship and differentiate from national carriers. You have your own customer, you know your customer, you are close to your customer, you know their necessities. So this is an opportunity to take an advantage of that part. So at this moment, the question is not if bundling is important, is how quickly the local providers can adopt and keep competitive. So now, and in order that you cannot have only one voice, I will hand it over to Alejandro, who will share a more holistic perspective on the benefit of becoming an MVNO based on our experiences in our markets. So, Alejandro.
Alejandro, you're muted.
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you. Hello, everyone. Now I hope you can hear me. Okay, now we are going to see why become an MVNO. What is behind this big decision? It's such a powerful move, especially for regional fiber operators, for rural operators. First, it helps build customer loyalty and attract new users by offering mobile services under your own brand. This is something that attracts to MVNOs all around the world. Be able to put into a SIM card your own brand and offer mobile services. It has a very great impact. The main idea is expanding the value proposition to your already customers. With mobile added to your portfolio, you can now build convergent bundles. It means that you can build your offer triple play, quad play, and play by adding mobile services to your offer. And the idea is be able to create a differentiation into the market. The third thing and why becoming an MVNO is that you reduce the cost of acquiring users because you already know your users. You already, for example, have billing information, users contact information. This user is already yours. So bring to you will be cheaper than going to the market and trying to get new users. It also will increase average revenue per user. This is known in the mobile world as ARPU. Because for sure, if you have more services and you don't have to spend a lot of more money in getting these users, it will increase the ARPU. And finally, it will boost the value of the companies. Around the world, there are many use cases for this kind of implementations, not only for fiber companies, but also for fixed, even some other industries, for example, electricity. They take advantage of knowing their users and add these mobile services to its portfolio.
Okay, thank you, Alejandro. So let's move to another important point. One of the most compelling reasons for fixed operators to become MVNOs is the clear financial upside. According to data that we have checked from CO Bank and Park Associates, operators that add mobile services see an ARPU lift of $20 to $40 per month. So that is a significant boost in the revenue per users. But it's not only about revenue. The customer retention also improves. In fact, the customer retention can increase up to 25%, which directly enhance customer lifetime value through more stable recurrent income. So all we know that is really generates additional cost to capture a new customer than maintain a current one. So this is really an important point here. Also, and perhaps the most important offering is that mobile helps to diversify the revenue streams, reducing the risk to rely only in one single service like TV or internet. So entering in the mobile space isn't just a defensive move. It's an strategic opportunity to grow and strengthen the business. So now Alejandro is going to share additional advantages.
Yes, for example, we have seen that mobile can close some rural gaps in terms of these subjects here: emergency responses, telehealth, remote work, education access. Because right now, the mobile isn't just about voice and data anymore. It's about being connected and being connected uh, as far as you can do it. It's a tool for social impact, especially as I said in rural communities. Mobile closes critical gaps in this kind of topics. For some use cases, this means that you can strengthen your relevance and value to the members of the community. It's not just another service, it's part of the mission that will bring to serve and connect the users. For example, here in Colombia, we have a lot of demands for this kind of topics, specifically in emergency responses and education accesses, because some operators get fiber to some points, but beyond that, when they become mobile operators, maybe under some another aggregator, they can start offering more to the people who at the end of the day are their customers. Okay. Now, uh, now we start to specifically talking about what you need to become an MVNO. And the first thing that we need to know is that there is not only one way to become an MVNO. There are several models, as we can see in this slide. The basic one is the reseller. The reseller is an MVNO that only focus on marketing and sales with minimal infrastructure investment. What it means? Basically, that you are going to put in the SIM card the name of your company, but you are going to sell the products, the plans, and the promotions from another network operator. So you are becoming a reseller, but with your own brand. What you can do with this? Not too much, because you don't own a platform where you can go and build your own commercial offer. But at least now in your portfolio, you start to offer mobile services. A light MVNO is just one step ahead. You can manage customer services and billing systems, providing more control. What is the difference with the reseller? Now the billing part can be into your MVNO, and it is under your control. So somehow you can start offering something different than the network operator. For example, let's say that you start with AT&T as a reseller. So you need to offer only what they sell. You cannot go further than that. With Light, you can start to create your own commercial offer. But if that is not enough, because it has its limitations. We have the last model, the full MVNO, where the companies own the core network components, and it will give us maximum control and flexibility, because, for example, there is one node that will provide the deep packet inspection, for example, and it sounds quite technical, but basically is one box that checks every IP packet going through the network. So you can decide what to do. For example, if one packet is from Facebook, from Instagram, from Uber, something like that. So you have the maximum control, and you can create your own policies to bring more flexibility into the commercial offer. So we as JSC Ingenium can provide the network elements and the functionality for every one of these MVNO models.
Okay, so now that Alejandro has shared some additional information, let's check an example of how could this be an advantage and how could generate additional incomes and customer to a rural operator becoming an MVNO provider. The situation could be that a company with around 10,000 broadband customers will start with the adoption of an MVNO model. In the first year, this provider could add around 1,500 mobile lines. But this is a startup take, and especially considering the rural context. But this is not just the impact. Also, it will be an impact in the increase of the revenue. So the estimation is that it could be around 18% in the revenue. And it's also about deepening the relationship with the customers, as we mentioned before. So that can generate a retention of the 92% of the customer with the bundle package. As we mentioned previously, this bundle of additional services will increase really the loyalty of the customers. So this example shows that with that, even a modest starting point, as Alejandro was mentioning, there are different models and different levels to become an MVNO. Starting with the simplest way can generate some growth and some stability in terms of the customer. And one of the advantages that the MVNO model offers an scalable and cost-effective way to enter into the mobile market without the complexity of becoming a full operator and make the deployment of a full radio access network, all this kind of things. So it's not just a technical upgrade, it's a strategic move that aligns with the customer's expectations and the market trends. Now Alejandro is going to share with us a little more details about what is needed in order to become a MVNO.
Yes, thank you, Freddy. If please complete the entire slide.
Okay.
Yes,
So
good.
you
Thank
will
you.
know. Okay.
For becoming an MVNO, we have several domains that we need to cover. On the left side, we can see the RAN part, because we know mobile network will need some base stations that they have different names. It depends of the technology. Let's remember in 2G, Node B, BTS, in 3G Node B, and etc. Now we are in 5G, and they say the name of this is E Node B, G Node B, and etc. In 6G, they will invent another name. But after that, after all the radio access network, we need the core network, the part that will control all the users, the mobility, the access, authentications, the commercial plan. The core network will assign the proper resources to the users, the quota, policies. It will manage the handover between the different base stations and etc. The core network is the main part, and right now is the focus of JSC Ingenium. Here we have all the services, applications, and etc. It's of course, maybe you know, there is a very important part for every technical aspect, and we are supported by our own OSS. Every core network has its own OSS, and it's compatible with third-party OSS, because maybe as you are already network operators, you have some. So it's pretty important when you become MVNO, this part, at least that it has the proper interfaces for being able to gather and collect statistics, measurements, and etc. All this core network domain is provided by JSC Ingenium, but not only that, because on the right side, we have the BSS part, because sometimes operators are only focused in the technical aspect of the service. How we are going to provide the service? Okay, I need a cell phone, I need a base station, a database where the users will be stored, and that's it. One MME, something that handle the mobility, and that's it. But that user need to go first by activation process. We need to assign a commercial plan. Maybe we want to send a physical SIM card to its home. So how we can achieve all this? It's pretty important to know that a BSS part is required for handling the core network, at least in the provisioning part. So there are some interfaces between the two worlds, because I say core network is the service and BSS is the administration of the users. So in BSS, we can find CRM, we find the portal of sales for customers, workflow management, all the billing and tariff, the reporting, and etc. There are several modules that help to achieve the goals for having the user happy. That's our main goal here. Be able to complete the commercial offer and provision into the core network. So I think this is it, Freddy.
Thank you, Alejandro. So it looks really complicated, not? But don't worry. That is why JSC Ingenium is here. We are a core network business support system provider, but we are not just that. We provide a technical solution which is able to support multiple brands and multiple operators over the same infrastructure, working fully independently. So you can have a same infrastructure, I mean the same hardware, and over that hardware, we can have many brands, many companies, many operators, many cooperatives. So that will make easier the entrance points. Alejandro later on will share some details about that. But this is not just what we do at JSC Ingenium. We can provide our solution like just a point to full stack solution. So we can provide the full solution, the end-to-end solution. And not only that, we are totally flexible with our solution, and we can also provide our managed services. So with that, you don't need to take care of all those details about the technical part, the operation of the network. We can do that for you. So at the end, you can get into the mobile market without having a deep knowledge about the mobile technology. We can take care of that for you. Let's move to the next slide. So this is a case, a real case that we have from Spain, from our experience in Spain, a company that started like an internet provider and a TV provider, and then take the decision to get into the mobile services, launch mobile services. What they achieved in 2 years, they have a 15% reduction in customer churn, meaning that fewer users unsubscribe from their services. Also, an increase in the average number of services per household. They pass from 2.5 to 3 services per household. That means a 20% increase. And also, and maybe the most important part, is that 4 out of 10 customers, that is the 40% of the base of customers that they have, sign up for a mobile line. So these numbers clearly demonstrate how having a mobile service is not only a way to strengthen the customer retention, but also open up some new revenues opportunities and increase the service presentation. Now, as I mentioned before, Alejandro is going to share with us some recommendations that we had for the specific rural operators in the United States based in our experience in other markets.
Thank you, Freddy. Yes, the suggestions is that you as rural operators and as association, you can create a cooperative MVNE. It has several advantages. For example, the first one is the rapid launch without infrastructure. An MVNE is an enabler, will enable to the cooperatives to provide mobile services. It significantly reduces the time and cost required to enter the market. After this slide, we will see a real case of this. The flexible models are tailored to each co-op. The main idea is that if exists an MVNO, an MVNE, sorry, every MVNO can enter into the enabler under the model that best suit to their own model. As we say, an MVNE will be a full MVNO, but under a complete MVNO, you can start to switching between being a light or being a reseller. The full network and system support, the MVNA provides the basic mobile and essential management systems, as we already say, BSS and OSS. So the cooperatives can concentrate only in the marketing and the local service. And finally, it will reduce risk and operating cost by outsourcing infrastructure and technical operations to the people who knows how to operate the network. We are going to be able to minimize the operational risk and the cost of personnel and technology. Please continue, Freddy, so we can check the real case. This is a real world example because we have done this in Argentina. There were several cooperatives for telecom, and they all gather into one, not one company. They create a new company, and the name of this company was Catel, Cooperative Argentinian for Telecommunications. They established only one MVNE, and all the cooperatives under this umbrella can use this platform, this infrastructure, all the services that this MVNE offers. So entering into the mobile market will be only one fraction of the cost, because you as MVNO don't have to worry about the infrastructure, the alarm, if there is one link for backup, what happens if one STP, one DRA, if the HSS, if database, and etc. All this will be handled of the MVNE that has one support contract with JSC. So that's the main idea behind having one MVNE supporting all these cooperatives for telecommunications. For sure, it's a very successful case. These rural cooperatives boost their ARPUs, reduce churn, and being able to expand their commercial offer. Thank you, Freddy.
Thank you, Alejandro. So now, to wrap up, I'd like to leave you with a clear vision of what the JSC Ingenium can do for you. We offer a turnkey solution designed specifically for communities. As Alejandro just mentioned, it can be a flexible, scalable, and ready to deploy solution. Our managed services model ensure that operators can focus on their customer, the customer that you already know and you know really well, while we take care of the technology. So you don't need to worry about the details of the technology, all those boxes that we were presenting before. Our solution is built on automation, resilience, and self-healing capabilities. So that means that our solution can be adapted for recovering and can minimize the downtime and maximizing the performance of the whole solution. And maybe one of the most important points is that all our solution can be delivered in an OpEx model, making it financially sustainable and aligned with your business goals. In the pace that you start to get subscribers, you can start to pay the solution to us. And at JSC Ingenium, our mission is simple, but it's really powerful, and it's no one left behind. In fact, we believe that the connectivity should be something accessible, inclusive, and future ready. So if you are exploring how to evolve your business, diversify your services, and continue being competitive in the market, let's talk. We love to explore how we can support you in the journey in order to become a mobile operator and enter in the mobile market. We really think that we can help the members of the NTCA and the rural operators in order to help them to have these mobile services in the rural America. Thank you very much for your attention, and here you will have our contact information if you want to have a personal meeting, a private meeting in order to discuss on specific situations, on ideas that you have. We are really and fully open to talk with you one by one. Thank you.
Thank
That's
you.
all, Chair.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Freddie and Alejandro. So we will open it up for your questions now is the time. Please type them in the Q&A box and we will get them as they come in. And first question, is it okay if we post this presentation on our website?
Sure.
Okay, great. So this webinar will
Can
be,
do it, no problem.
pardon?
No problem. Please do it.
Yes. Okay, so if you just go to ntca.org, go to the events tab, webinars, and it'll be filed in the archive webinar section. So we'll have that up in the next few days. One question here, what level of technical involvement and internal resources are required to implement a light MVNO model with your solution?
Alejo.
Well, the light MVNO, as we have seen, would only require the commercial knowledge that every operator already knows. Maybe there are some new concepts, but the technical side is not too deep for understanding. As Freddie mentioned before, we also offer managed services for take care of all these technical matters in order that the MVNO doesn't have to worry about what kind of profile I have to hire for managing the OCS or the DPI or some kind of these platforms. No, the idea is that the MVNO be light, as the word says, and very quickly can launch their commercial offers into the market. So the technical involvement is minimal.
Okay, great. And how are billing and customer support handled when integrating mobile services with our existing fiber offering?
As we saw in one of the slides that Alejandro showed, we can offer a full solution, including not only the core part, but also the BSS, the business support system. In that solution, we also have our CRM, all this kind of thing. If some operators already have, we can have a couple of options, and this is one of the things that we have done in other countries, that they move their existing customer support system to our platform in order to have a unified solution, a unified business support system that can handle together and integrate not only the new mobile services, but also the existing services. I mean, the fixed voice, the internet, everything in one platform. I think and we think that this could be the best option in order to have an integrated solution. In the other part, it also be possible to have some kind of integration to maintain the existing platforms, but that will generate a kind of duality between the two systems. So our first recommendation is try to integrate in one platform, and the important thing and the key point is that our solution is able to do that, and we have done this in other parts, in other experiences. Michelle, you are mute.
So, yeah, so it looks like we don't have any more questions here. So we will go ahead and thank you so much for the presentation, Alejandro Suaza and Freddie Lara. Very informative webinar for our members, how to drive revenue in rural America by combining fiber and mobile. So we appreciate that. And thank you to everyone for joining us today. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye. And thank you to
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.